Seeing others be successful looks easy. Seeing others accomplish their goals appear easy. Seeing others do things they're putting their mind to, it seems easy. But one thing that I've learned while being on this journey, it is not easy. It is not what you think it will be. It will be challenging. It will push you, and it will show you that you can do it if you really put your mind to it. So really, this video is going to be about understanding why it seems easy and how you can do it as well. There's a process behind everything. The process is so overwhelming. The most difficult thing there is to start for yourself. It's to start in the beginning. It's to start. That's the most difficult thing there is. So if this is your first time here, welcome to another episode of Failure is Knowledge. Here at Failure Knowledge, we speak about personal growth, marketing, and podcasting tips. See, today, this topic is going to cover personal development topics, and we're going to cover on why it seems easy and how you can do it for yourself. But just know, when you put your mind to something, it will be challenging. When you think of doing something, it will be overwhelming. When you actually put your mind to doing what you have thought about doing, it will be challenging. So just know, just because there's a challenge doesn't mean that it can't be faced. Doesn't mean that you can't win it. You just have to go through the challenge, go through the obstacles, and recognize that you are going to be okay when you get on the other side. But it's getting to the other side that's really difficult, because you have to go through the battle. You have to go through the trenches. You have to go through something that you're not familiar with. Even though you're not familiar with it, you can come out on the other side. So let me go ahead right up on the board right here that it seems easy. It seems easy. Easy. There we go. It seems easy. And by it, I'm referring to dreams. When you dream, it should be easy. When you do and think, it should be easy. And when you really dive into the dreaming aspect of what you would like to do, it's challenging. It's overwhelming. It's frustrating. But the beauty that comes behind you putting your mind to something is that you can see the growth that you're developing for yourself. You can see the actions that you're taking, and the actions that shows you that you are on the right path. And even though your path might seem a little blurry, might not have a direct direction, your direction is coming because you are challenging yourself. See, when I was younger, I used to be a big WWE fan, wrestling fan, and John Cena was my favorite fighter. Like, that man went through the trenches, like he was going. He been wrestling for like over 20 something years, but every night, every fight that he does, he give it his all. He give it his all. He fight like he wanted to, and he wrestle. Well, not necessarily fight, but he wrestle in a way where like he's selling himself, like he's selling what he's doing. He's selling like everything. Wrestling is like an entertainment business, so everything on there potentially ain't real. Furthermore, it makes it seem like it's real. So John Cena, he understood like the aspects of what he needed to do and how he needed to go about doing it when he got in the ring. And so when he faced Dwayne The Rock Johnson, they went head to head with one another, but because they was facing a challenge amongst each other. But prior to them battling against each other, they had to battle against themselves. See, in life, you have to battle against yourself to recognize that you can do what you are putting your mind to. See, just because it seemed easy to the next person, when you're doing it, you recognize that it's not so easy. It's not so welcoming, because you have to step into your greatness. Your greatness can be defined when you understand the path that you like to pursue for yourself. And so when Dwayne The Rock Johnson and John Cena was fighting amongst each other, it was two great people going against each other. And when they go against each other now, people that's watching, people that's observing the fight is more entertained because they're great for themselves. They're great because they went through the challenge. They're great because they evolved over time. You can't be great if you never face nothing. You can't become better if you never go through anything. See, going through something, going through life, going through challenges is helping you prepare that you can do it when you put your mind to it. See, putting your mind to it is the most difficult thing there is, because how do you know you're doing the right thing when the right thing is not telling you that you're doing the right thing? See, when the reason why it seemed easy, because if everybody was doing it, the people that were watching, or if they're currently doing it, they make it appear easy because of the work that they're doing behind the scenes. How do you get better if you're not working when no one is in front of you? When you're not improving, when you have nobody staring at you? When you are improving, when you're doing the work, when the work is needs to be done, when there's somebody paying attention to you. See, just because it seems easy doesn't make it impossible. First point I want to say is that it's not impossible. One, it's not impossible. And see, the reason why it's not impossible is because somebody has done it before. Somebody has done it before, and as they're doing it, they're showing us that it's possible. How do you know something is possible if you haven't seen what possibility looks like? And so when I started making videos, the reason why I started making videos is because my brother was making videos. My brother Malik, he was making YouTube videos about like different different food reviews. So he's doing these videos. So I'm like, man, if he can do it, I should be able to do it. And so I started making videos. I started cooking. This time, when I started, I was cooking, but I recognized that cooking wasn't my specialty. I didn't really enjoy cooking because I didn't want to cook nothing every time I got hungry. And so even though I saw my brother do it, he gave me inspiration that I can do it as well. Now, just because I have the inspiration doesn't mean it's going to be easy. He make it seem easy, but when I get it for myself, I have to go through some challenges. I have to go through some curves. I have to really get confident on camera because I'm not really familiar with it. And so when I pick up my iPhone and start recording it, I had to speak to the camera. I wanted to speak to the camera. And so I had to practice to get better. I had to get better to recognize that I was doing it because I was going through a challenge. I was going through a hard time. When I first started making a video of 5 minutes, felt like forever. It felt forever because when I was talking, it seemed like they didn't want to come forever. And now I be talking for an hour and some change. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I just talked for an hour and some change? But think about the repetition. But think about the practice. But think about all the different videos that I've created. You have to create the process and understand the work that you're doing for yourself is preparing you for the challenge. Because when you accept the challenge for yourself, now you're making your dreams come true. And see, the reason why I say it's not impossible, because you can accomplish your dream, you can accomplish your goal, you can accomplish everything that you put your mind to. But it's the fact that you have to believe that you can do it when you put the work behind the belief. See, in the Bible, there's a quote that says, faith without work is dead. So if you don't work towards your dream, if you don't work towards your goal, if you don't work towards your belief, how can you get better? How can you improve? How can you evolve? Yeah, I like that word, evolve. How can you evolve? And the reason why that's so important, the reason why that's so special is because it shows that you are on the path for yourself. It shows that you're doing the work. And see, when you understand that it's not easy, it's not easy because you're doing it for yourself. It's not easy because you're the one that's doing it. Now, when I was watching other people make videos, I'm like, man, that seems easy. If they could do it, I should be able to do it too. But not knowing that there's a challenge behind everything that you do. There's an unknown that has to be discovered as you are discovering yourself. And see, when you discover yourself, now you really put yourself in a better position because you understand that you're doing it for yourself. See, challenges come, but they come in different ways. Challenges evolve, and they evolve in different ways. The reason why they're so important because it shows that you're on the right path. It demonstrates that you're on the right path, because if you have all the answers to what you're looking for, the challenge won't be as challenging because it won't push you. It won't push you. See, I go to the gym 4 times a week, throughout the week, and as I'm going to the gym, I have to push myself, right? And I remember a year or 2 years ago when I was going to the gym, I remember I was standing in the gym for like a 30 to 45 minutes working on one exercise. Like I do bench for a whole hour. That's like, what? So then my brother Ray, he joked with me a lot. He said, man, every time you go to the gym, you only do one exercise and then you tired. Like, I'm like, hey man, don't judge me, bro. Don't judge me, bro. That's what I do. That's what I do. You feel me? That's what I do. But then knowing where I was lacking on my progression was that I wasn't pushing myself like I needed to. And so when I really start to really pay attention to what I was doing and how long I was in the gym, yes, I'm in the gym, but am I really doing the work am I really doing the work that which consists of me in the gym, right? So I can be in the gym, but am I doing the right work for myself? And so when I really just diving into my thought process, what I was doing, and really understand like there's a process behind it, I need to recognize what this process is for me. Not to anybody else, not for anyone else. I need to discover it for myself. And so when I recognized that it wasn't going to be easy working out and being consistent, because I'm not playing sports anymore. I'm not playing sports in a way where I have to do it more often. I have to really do it for myself. I have to really just do it for me. And so as I'm in the gym, I'm recognizing that I'm getting better. As I'm in the gym, I'm recognizing I'm getting better just a little bit. As I'm in the gym, I'm recognizing I'm kind of getting strong. Right? So my twin brother Tim, he in the chat. My twin brother Tim, he's so creative. He's so creative. I remember one time he called me and he was just writing. He was writing a song that he was creating, but the way he like delivered it, it was so special. Because it was so unique. I'm like, man, that gotta be easy. Man, that gotta be easy. So then I asked him, I said, man, how long are you writing? How long do you write? He said, man, I write every day. He said, man, I do the work every day. He said, man, I'm doing this every day, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I remember I went to his first concert, one of his first concerts, and it was a ecstatic feeling. One, because I don't like the club. I don't even like the club. Furthermore, my brother was there, so I started to like the club just a little bit because he was performing. And so as he's performing, as he's there, as he's getting ready to perform and come on stage, I'm excited for him. I'm stoked for him. First off, it took forever for him to get on stage. It took forever for him to get onto stage. And even though it took him forever, I was waiting. I was patiently waiting. And when he hit that stage, he got to performing, I just knew, I just felt that he was making it look easy. That it looked like that it was easy, but he was getting on stage, he was performing, he was doing his thing. And I'm just there as a fan, a big fan, recording the process, like really excited. Mind you, I don't like the club. I really can't stand the club. But I can stand the club when my brother is in there performing. So as he's performing, he's making it look easy. As he's rapping, he's making it look easy. As he engaging with the audience, he's making it look easy. And the fact that he made it look easy, what about the work when nobody was in front of him? What about the work that nobody was in front of him? And even though nobody was in front of him, what do you do to get better when nobody's watching you? You see, the reason why it's easy is because the reason why it becomes easy is because you're doing the work. You're putting yourself out there. You're challenging yourself to get better. And see, when you get better, you start to see and recognize that you're doing the right thing for yourself. Big T say, trust the process, brother. I appreciate that, man. And then Tim say, love you, brother. Great work. And see, there's a process behind everything. I used to be I wouldn't say a sore loser, but I really used to judge people that made it look easy. Like, there's no way what you're doing is easy. But you're doing it with no effort. You're doing it without struggling. You're doing it without even thinking and overthinking about the process. But you're doing it so effortlessly. And see, when you're doing it so effortlessly, I'm like, man, why can't I do it so smooth like that? Why can't I get up and speak like that? Why can't I talk like that? Why can't I deliver like that? See, not knowing that they've been doing the work, they've been doing the challenge for so long because they've been going through the work. They've been going through the process. And see, when I start to recognize that life isn't easy, I have to start doing things that will push me to make it easy. See, getting up to going to the gym is hard. It's difficult. Then you got to wake up early to go to the gym, which is even more challenging. Then you have to do it on a consistent basis, which is even more difficult. But it has so much rewards in it. It has so many different rewards that comes from that, because it's showing that you're growing for yourself. It's showing that you're developing for yourself. And it's showing that you can be consistent. If see, just because it's not impossible, you have to find a way to make it possible for yourself. Why? Because you have to do the work. You have to be the one to commit. You have to be the one to challenge yourself. If you are not challenging yourself, how do you grow to become great? If you are not pushing yourself, how do you get better over time? If you are not if it's hard to you, you have to know that you're doing that you have to do the work in order for it to become easy for you to do. See, challenges is so overwhelming. I remember I was in the Marine Corps, and our training, it was it was I remember boxing in the Marine Corps, and this guy, he was like maybe 6 feet, 180, 200 pounds, and I was 5'8", 170, 175 pounds, right? And so we had to get our gear on. We had to put like a helmet on, body protection, gloves, and a pogo stick. Well, not necessarily a pogo stick, but like a stick. So we had to put that on, put the gear on, and then just fight. Man, I remember one time I tried to, in this fight, I started off strong. But he ain't going down. He a big dude. He a big dude. So I'm giving him my all. I'm hit him. I'm connecting. But he ain't going down. He ain't even falling. It ain't even look like that it's bothering him. But I'm trying to give it my all. See, the challenge was to give it my all. And even though I gave it my all, I might not come out on top. So I'm giving it my all in this fight. And then he just stepped back and just swung. And then when he swung, he connected. And see, when he connected, I said, oh, this kind of hurt. But it didn't hurt. I just was exhausted. See, sometimes we need to lose the challenge to recognize that we can get back up again. And so the instructor, he was like, man, come here. He said, man, come here. He said, man, were you that tired? Were you that tired? I said, yeah, I was that tired. I said, yeah, I was that tired. And see, understanding, like there's a process behind the challenge that you go through, the challenges that you're facing, you're becoming great because you have to come out on the other side. You have to develop on the other side because the other side is preparing you to make it look easy. See, not knowing, when I was younger, I was playing football. And just because I was active in football doesn't mean I can be active in everything else that I'm doing. I wasn't great at playing basketball. And I know because I was we played basketball in different pickup games, different pickup areas, just for fun. But I wasn't that good. I was never that good. And it hit me. I'm like, why am I never that good? My twin brother Tim, he used to be so smooth with the ball. Like, he used to be so smooth with the basketball. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you do that? So I'm like, why can't I be so good at basketball like I'm good at football? Then it hit me one day. Because it's two different sports. It's two different challenges that you have to go through. It's two different experiences. So what you are training for in football, you have to train completely different in basketball. So yes, you can run 40 yards. But in basketball, you have to run down the court, back to court, down the court, back to court, down the court, back to court. See, it's a different dynamic that I wasn't expecting. See, it's easy because one is practicing to make it easy. See, I wasn't putting time into basketball because all my time was going into football. So then I really started learning more about understanding what the challenge was. The challenge wasn't necessarily that I wasn't that good. It was the fact that I wasn't putting that much work into myself to be good. See, when you recognize that it's not impossible, you have to know that it becomes possible when you put effort in for yourself. See, life shows you, life will demonstrate to you, life will open to you the results that come from your effort. It might seem like that nothing has come from your effort. It might seem like that you're constantly losing. It might seem like that you're constantly getting knocked down. But in life, you have to get knocked down to know that you can pick yourself back up. To know that you can get back up when times get tough, when times get difficult, when times get overwhelming. You can pick yourself back up. Because if you're constantly winning, how do you know what losing feel like? How do you know what losing feel like? See, life shows you that you can't always win. Life presents to you that you can win sometimes. Life also demonstrates that if you do the work, regardless of if you win, if you lose, and you give it your all become your best. Because of the work that goes on behind the scene. The work that goes on behind the scene. I remember when I first wrote my book, Master Your Mind, 10 Tips to Shift Your Mindset. I wrote this book within 4 months. And prior to me writing this book, I was just thinking, I was like, man, I'm gonna write a book. I'm thinking about writing a book because I think it'll be good. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm constantly thinking about it. I probably thought about it for a month or two, but I really didn't do what I needed to for it to be published. And so when I was thinking about publishing the book, I didn't really necessarily understand or know the direction that I wanted to go with the book. It was hard for me because I had to sit down and write. I had to sit down and type. And so as I'm typing, there's a lot of grammatical errors in there. Okay? That's okay. There's a lot of grammatical errors, but I'm writing this book. I'm making progress. I'm doing something for myself. And even though I'm doing it for myself, I'm learning more about me. So in life, you go through challenges, and the challenges that you go through, you don't recognize what you went through until you just sit down and reflect. Many times in life, you have to reflect on your challenges. Your challenges is here to push you. Your challenges is here to make you grow. Your challenges is here to make you think. So as I'm writing this paper, I'm thinking about the challenges that I've just went through. And as I went through the challenges, I was learning more about myself. See, it look easy when you get on the other side, but as you're going through it, it's impossible. So to make it possible, you have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to do and practice on yourself. Because when you understand what you can become, or think you can become, or believe that you can do, you would do it with all your might. Because it shows that you are on the right path. It's not easy because it's your first time. It's not easy because it's not something you're familiar with. It's not easy because it's going to be challenging. And when it's challenging, you have to know that you can do it even when you don't believe that you can do it. Why? Because it seems easy. It seems easy. See, my twin brother made rapping or writing music easy. But what about the amount of time he's been writing music by himself and been learning how to put the words together, how to rhyme the words together, how to position the words correctly? See, it's easy because of the work. But the work is still challenging because you have to be the one that push yourself. See, motivation, motivation is not the, it's not, you can't necessarily give anyone motivation. Excuse me. Because if you have to be motivated to do something, how do you keep that motivation to keep doing it? I believe in inspiration. I believe in being inspired. Because if you're inspired, you see it for yourself. Right? So if you need motivation, then I'm the one that's seeing your inspiration. Versus you seeing your inspiration and you motivating yourself. See, when you motivate yourself, now you understanding that you are the one that's doing it. You are the one that needs to do the work, because when you do the work, you understanding that it's positioning you better. Because it's showing that it's not easy, and just because it's not easy doesn't mean you can't do it. Doesn't mean you can't do it. And so when I was writing this book, when I was writing my first book, it really pushed me in a way that I wasn't expecting to be pushed. It really challenged me in a way that I wasn't expecting. But see, when you make your mind up for something that you would like to do, you have to know the thing that you like to do will push you in a way that you're not expecting. How can you always expect something when you don't know what to expect? The reason why life is so challenging, the reason why other people make things appear so easy, is because of the amount of preparation that they have for themselves. How do you prepare when no one's watching you? How do you prepare when no one's even listening to you? How do you prepare when you're the only one talking to yourself? See, talking to yourself helps you understand that when you put yourself out there, when you put yourself and commit to the process, you committed to the process will show that you can grow. Because as you're growing, you're developing. And see, when you develop for yourself, now there's a undiscovered thing about yourself that comes to life that shows that even though you are committed to this thing that you are committed to will help you grow and develop, because as you're growing and developing, you're becoming more than you think. See, it seems easy because of the preparation. And the lack of preparation shows that it's going to be difficult. Because you're not practicing on your craft. You're not practicing on something that you have aspirations for. You can't be motivated to do something if you don't believe that you can do the challenges. If you don't believe that you can go through the hard time. If you don't believe that you can be the one to come out on the other side of the challenge. And see, when I was boxing this guy and he knocked me down, I said, whoa. Whew, I'm exhausted. But as I was exhausted, I picked myself back up. I picked myself back up because I can know, because I learned that you have to get knocked down sometimes to recognize that you have to be the one to pick yourself back up. You have to be the one to pick yourself back up because you have to be inspired to be better. You have to be inspired to do the work. You have to be inspired to do the practice. See, I wasn't practice fighting. I was practice breathing. I was practice breathing so I can learn how to hang, not necessarily hang, so I can learn how to keep my stamina up. So my stamina doesn't go down so quickly. One, don't use all my power so quickly. Okay? Learned that on the spot. If I use my power, when we have to go for 60 seconds, if I use in the first 10 seconds, I got the remaining 50 seconds to go. And I'm going to be tired. And so you have to tire yourself out to know the lessons that's here is helping you for your life. See, challenges doesn't stop coming. Growth does not stop happening. Timing that would never take a pause for you, because you showing that you're making the impossible comes possible. Is it easy? No. Is it doable? Absolutely. You just have to know how doable it is for yourself. You see, when I start to really dive into the journey that I was doing, dive into the process that I was going through, it really showed me that there's there's levels to this. That's what it is. There's levels to this. So my first video wasn't that good. I couldn't even talk over for 5. I couldn't even talk longer than 5 minutes, let alone 4. I was trying to do it. I was improving by doing it more often. And as I'm doing it more often, I'm seeing me improve. It's a challenge to be comfortable with yourself. It's a challenge to be comfortable with your voice. It's a challenge to even commit to a dream, to even commit to a thought, to even commit to something that you see yourself doing. Why? Because you have to be the one that pushes yourself. You have to be the one that motivates yourself. You can't get motivation from anybody else, but you can be inspired by the next person. And I want to look up the definition of inspired because it's important. It's important. When you get inspired, you can do more than you think. You can do more than you think. Why? Because you're inspired. You're inspired. And let me show you this right here. Inspired. You have to be inspired to do something, and when you do something, you have to do it for yourself. So the definition of inspired is to fill someone with the urge or ability to do or feel something, especially to something creative. We all have creativity. We all have a form of creativity that we have. And the creativity that we have, it comes out from us when we are challenging ourselves to grow. I remember back in high school, I wasn't so good. I appreciate it, man. I wasn't so good in art class, and I don't really like it. Okay, I really don't like arts, and so at the time I thought I was the only one, or at the time I thought creativity was only about drawing. It was only about drawing. I used to see my mama draw a lot. Like my mama, she could draw. She can draw. Like she's very creative when it comes to art. And so when I was in art class, I wasn't that creative because I didn't really see the point of it, right? I didn't really see, like, I can't be creative when it comes to art. I can't be creative when it comes to painting pictures. I can't be creative because I ain't really rocking with it. So as I got older, I started to learn that creativity comes in different forms. Creativity shows up in different ways. So as I'm older and I'm learning, I'm like, oh, it wasn't just about art. It was unlocking your creativity. That's the next point I want to hit on is to unlock your creativity. Point number 2, unlock your creativity. I-T-Y. Unlock your creativity. And so what this means is that we all have some form of creativeness in us. But it's discovering that makes it challenging because we don't know it right off the bat, right off the top. And so when you put yourself in a challenging manner, you're finding how creative you can actually become. Because the answers are not coming to you. To be creative, you have to think outside the box, think outside the norm that will show you that you're on the right path. And as you're on the right path, your creativities get developed in a way that's going to help you understand that it's not easy. And just because it's not easy, you're doing it in a way where you're comfortable with expressing yourself. Creativity is a form of expression, and as you're expressing yourself, you have to know that it's showing you that you are on the right path. Things that you do, comes from your mind. And as that coming from your mind, it gets shown when it's on display, when it's on a level. See, when my twin brother started rapping, started writing, he wasn't that good as he is today. He was starting. His creativity was right. He wasn't even good at school, but he was able to write. He was able to write. When you find something that you have a desire for, your creativity starts to get unlocked because you see what you're producing. You see what you are creating. You notice that you just created this. One thing that blows my mind is when an artist can see a blank canvas, a blank page, a blank something, and create something magical from this. See, that's an artist. That's creativity. You give yourself space to be creative, because as you're being creative, you're unlocking your creativity. See, when I learned that we got different forms of creativity, I'm like, oh snap, I'm about to go crazy. And the reason why I'm going crazy is because I just discovered what my creativity was. What was it? My creativity was speaking. My creativity was thinking outside the box when it comes to presenting in a way where I understand how to connect with the audience. I understand how to connect points. I'm learning more on how to tell stories. See, stories is something that people connect with. And when I started making videos, I didn't understand it because I didn't know how to storytell. I didn't understand that everything that you're doing, you're storytelling. I remember I was talking to a friend. When I was talking to either a friend or a brother, as I'm speaking with them, they're telling me what happened. They're telling me how it happened, and they're informing me of something that they did. And so as I'm listening to it, so they asked me like, "Hey man, so how are you? What have you been doing?" And so I just been telling them, like, I've been doing content creation, I've been doing podcasting, I've been doing marketing, I've been doing like learning more about business. But as I'm learning more about business, I'm just finding myself a little bit more. And see, in life, stories is what you go through, and when you tell your story, you are opening your creativity. See, there's different form of storytellers. You can either rap your story, you can either sing your story, you can either draw your story. And there's different forms that will show you that you are unlocking your creativity. See, one thing that I've learned is not to limit myself. The only thing that we limit is our thoughts. Why do we limit our thoughts? There's a I saw this yesterday. I saw this explanation yesterday. I want to use it today, and it was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good. It was by Zig Ziglar. I was watching the video with Zig Ziglar, and he was like, "You want to know how to train mosquitoes? I think it was mosquitoes, either mosquitoes or fleas. You want to know how to train? I think it was fleas. I think mosquitoes too. I think fleas. You want to know how to train fleas?" He said, "You get a jar." You put the fleas inside the jar and you put the top on the jar with the fleas inside of it. So then the fleas is going to hit it. It's going to hit the top. And as they're hitting the top, they're getting used to the limit that's there. Right? So when the top gets taken off and it's placed to the side, the fleas are no longer flying as high as the top. Because the top is their ceiling. Their top is how it was trained. See, when we take the lid out of ourselves, we have to be creative and push past the limits. See, the only limits that we have is the limitations that we put on ourselves. And you see, the reason why that's so important, because when you unlock your creativity shows that you are doing more than you expect. You are setting new challenges, you are developing new growth, and you are evolving in a way that's going to show you that you are on the right path. How do you get on the right path? Well, you got to start challenging yourself. See, when I go to the gym 4 times out of the week, I'm challenging myself to remain healthy. I'm challenging myself to move my body. I'm challenging myself just to stay consistent. Because I can get lazy. I can get to a point where I don't feel like doing it. I remember a couple of days ago, recently, as I'm making videos, right in the middle of me speaking, I'm like dozing off. And it's incredible for me to see that, because 1, I can see my flaw. 2, I can see that I'm consistent. 3, I just need some rest. And it showed me that challenges is another form of adversity. How do you push through times when times are bringing you down? And as they're bringing you down, how do you evolve to become better over time? Your challenges that you face is preparing you to develop more of your creativity. See, your creativity shows that you are unlocking your thoughts. You're unlocking new ways of thinking, because you're the one that's thinking more for yourself. And see, the reason why that's so important is because we all got some type of creativity. We all have some type of creativity. I just looked in the camera. There's a book. It's called The Wealth of the Nations. Hello? The Wealth of Nations. I haven't read it because that joke is huge. Furthermore, the Wealth of Nations is so good because there's a wealth of creativity inside you. And when you understand what's inside you and you start to discover it every single day, and you work towards it every single day, and you improve every single day, it shows that your creativity is being created by the way you decide for yourself. You can't get better if you're not getting better for yourself. You can't improve if you're not improving for the person in the mirror. You can't develop if you're not going through no challenges. See, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. I remember I played football, and it was like, if it was easy to play football, everybody in the school would be down here practicing. I said, oh, what a good point. If it was easy, everybody would be down here practicing. And so it made me really think about it, like, that's different. That's different in a way because we're the ones down here practicing. Now, if you never played a sport or extracurriculum or just have fun, like, it's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. It's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. And even though the work is a lot, it's a lot because you're the one that's doing it. You have to challenge yourself. You have to push yourself. You have to recognize that how you're pushing yourself, you're developing yourself. You see, your creativity gets unlocked when you recognize that it's not impossible no more for you. And just because it's not impossible, you have to know that it gets better. You get better, but it will take time. And even though it takes time, even though it takes a lot of effort, even though it takes a lot of work, you get better over time. See, when I decided to make videos, I didn't get better at cooking because I stopped cooking. I didn't really enjoy cooking. I just stopped cooking because I didn't really like it. I didn't want to call my mama every time, like, hey, mama, how you cook this meal? How you cook this right here? And I definitely didn't want to record every time I got hungry. They wanted to eat something. Then I had to record, prepare, cook, and then eat. That's a long time. That is a long preparation. Because you have to do multiple things all at once. You have to get the camera, you have to record what you're doing. Either you're cutting up vegetables, you're cutting up the food, you clean the food, and then you prep the food. I did it. But I didn't continue to do it either. But what I did continue to do was still make videos. I decided that I might not make videos with cooking, but what about me talking? What about me talking? There's a video about like, what about them waffles? What about me speaking? What about me delivering my creativity in a way where I believe my creativity is showing in a new way? What if it comes? What if it keeps improving? What if I get better? You can only get better when you start doing things more often. See, it's a challenge to be consistent. It's a challenge to go to the gym. It's a challenge to get up and make videos every single day. Now that I'm getting better, I have to know there's more that comes to this. There's more that comes from this. There's more that gets discovered from our creativity. See, when you unlock your creativity, now you have to learn how to be consistent. That's the next one I want to hit on. You have to learn how to be consistent. Point number 3, learn consistency. STENCY. Learn consistency. Excuse me. Just like I mentioned earlier about when I played football, if it was easy, everybody would be down here practicing. If it was easy. But since it's not easy, everyone is not down here practicing, so it's challenging. It becomes even more challenging when you have to do it every single day. It becomes even more stressful when you have to get up and inspire yourself every single day. It becomes more challenging, especially when you don't feel like getting up. Especially when you are exhausted. You see, it seems easy because you have to be the one that's doing it. It seems easy because on the outside looking in, you're making the work look easy. You're making the what you're doing up here like anyone can do it. I remember when I was younger, me and my two brothers, we used to play a lot. Well, me and my two brothers, I used to get bullied by my big brother. I used to be a little baby. I used to cry a lot. But when we wasn't fighting, we was wrestling. We was playing. We was getting into it with one another. And so I've always been built per se, because I always play football. So you kind of have to be built and remain built. And so as I'm built and when I'm wrestling with my brothers, I used to always pick them up. My favorite move was John Cena's specialty, because I could put him on my shoulder and just dump him. And so during that time, I didn't recognize that the people that wrestled, they get training for this. They get practice for this. There's a disclaimer that says, do not try this at home, because these are professionals that are actually doing this. So then it's like, oh, y'all actually have to like practice this. You have to like focus on this. Like, that's different. Wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting it. But as I got older, I understand why it's different. Because the preparation is different. It has to prepare you for what you are doing, because as you are accepting the challenge is still going to be present, and as it's present, it's helping you develop more for yourself. It's easy. It seems easy because the other person has been preparing for a long time, has been doing the work for a long time, has been practicing for a long amount of time. See, when you're starting off to chase your dreams and accomplish your goals and pushing yourself is challenging, because you have to be the one that pushes yourself. And when you continue to push yourself, you see what you are growing into. You notice that your skills is developing because you're doing it so much. When I really took podcasting serious and really got committed to it, the work that I was doing was really benefiting me more, because I was able to do it more often. I was able to do it more often without being inconsistent. You see, when you learn consistency, you learn how to do it every single day. Especially when you don't feel like doing it. Especially when you don't feel like it's even paying off. For the work to pay off, you have to be the one that pays off for itself, because over time, that's when you get paid for your efforts. That's when you get paid for your efforts, because of the amount of work that you're doing for yourself. How do you grow? You start. Start what? Like, I want to achieve my dreams, my goals, my aspirations. Sometimes we don't even have aspirations, dreams, or goals to even chase. We just have to find something that we think that we would like to do, and then do it. And then we recognize that we don't want to do it no more, then we can stop doing it. We can stop doing it. In school, we had to take the classes. We had to pass the classes. So I couldn't just necessarily stop taking art and doing the work, but I can stop drawing when I get out the class. In life, you have to keep being in class for yourself as you discover who you are becoming. And it's so important, because it shows that you are on the right path. And even though you're on the right path, you have to take a couple classes to understand what's being presented to you, what's being taught to you, what's been shown to you, what's been demonstrated for you. Because it shows that it's possible. It shows you that it's possible, because you are the one that's doing it. You are the one that's doing it. And see, when I start to really see and understand how I was developing within myself, I really became I became more creative with how I was doing it, because my creativity kept unlocking itself. The way I was thinking kept discovering itself. The way I was evolving kept showing up, because I didn't stop showing up. So half a decade ago, I started making videos. Fast forward a half a decade to this year, 2024, I started to learn more about business and what business was, like what podcasting is, and how can I really make something from it. Even though I love making a difference, I have to make a difference without getting burnt out. And see, when I start to really learn the power of consistency, it's showing me that I can be consistent. I just have to show up for myself first and then show up for others. Because in life, if you don't show up for yourself, nothing's gonna come from it. Nothing's gonna come from it. There's a track runner called, his name is Noah, or there's another track runner called Sha'Carri Richardson. She is fast. Excuse me. She done broke so many different records while running on that track. She is talented. She is hard working. And so as she's hard working, she's able to break so many records because she constantly show up to do the work. Especially when there's no cameras. Especially when there's no fans. Especially when there's no one watching her. She's training. She's getting better. She's staying in shape. She's staying in the best possible shape that she can stay in. Because she's a star. In track, you have to be the one that run that race. In track, Sha'Carri Richardson has to be the one that run that race. Because if she's not running that race, nobody's going to run it for her. Because when nobody runs the race for her, how do you develop within yourself? You have to do it for yourself. In track, it's kind of like it's not necessarily a one man sport team, but it's a game where the person that's in this lane has to be the one that's running. Has to be the one that's running, because as they're running, they're doing the work. Is it hard? It will be, but it get easier the more you do and challenge yourself. See, when no one is in front of you, how are you challenging what you are doing? How are you challenging and evolving in a way that shows that you're doing something right? Because you have to keep challenging yourself, even when you feel comfortable. Even when you feel like you know what you are doing, even though you have the thought that you think that you know what you're doing, you have to know that you don't know what you're doing, because there's a lot of information to learn. There's a lot of information to learn. I was watching this one video. It was this guy. He was a boxer. I love boxing because it's a one-on-one sport. It's like it's either going to be you or me. And most of the time it be them. And most of the time it be them. And even though in boxing, it's a one-on-one sport. In boxing, they have coaches around them to coach them properly, to challenge them. So in this video, this coach is talking to the fighter. He was like, "Hey man, we got him on the ropes, but you're not really pushing him. You're not really attacking him like you need to be attacking him, but you need to be position yourself correctly to get in a better position." So he's coaching him, he's guiding him. In life, we need a coach to guide us on a direction for our creativity. Our creativity is inside us, but when somebody pull it out of us, now we have to understand that our creativity is being unlocked. And see, it's being unlocked because you're the one that's discovering more about yourself. You're the one that's recognizing what you're able to do. See, when you learn consistency, you're learning how to do it every single day. You're learning how to do it when you don't even feel like it. You're learning how to do it when times are tough, when times are hard, when moments are difficult. You're still able to do it because sometimes you just don't feel like doing it. See, when I went to the gym and I got a cut on my right eye, right before the cut, I was like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like working out. Today feels hard. I ain't gonna doze off this time. Excuse me. I don't feel like working out because today feels hard. Like the workout feels challenging, and I'm not really here in the zone. And right after that thought, instantly 30 seconds, I got on the machine and it hit me. Boom. And when it hit me, I felt it coming before it even showed up. Before it even happened. I felt it come before it even came up. Because I was the one feeling something. Creativity doesn't stop happening. Creativity doesn't stop showing up. Creativity gets discovered in every way, every situation, every environment that you are involved in, because it shows your preparation. It shows your determination, and it shows your will to keep going. It shows your will to keep going, because as you keep going, you are keep showing up for yourself. You see, your creativity comes from unlocking the potential to be great. Rather than saying that it's not possible, start saying it is possible. Start saying, how is it possible? Start saying, how can it be possible? Because you can only be and become great when you understand the level of greatness that you have within yourself. There's a process behind everything. The process that was discovered there is the challenges that you're putting yourself through. It's the challenges that you are facing. So you can't run from growth, because growth is going to happen when you least expect it. Even when you're doing the work, even though you're showing up every day, you showing up every day is demonstrating your consistency. You can be consistent. Can you be committed while you're being consistent? That's the growth that happens, is that when you develop your creativity, it has to continue to be developed. It has to continue to be evolved. It has to continue to be improved, because as it's improved, you're able to see that it's easy over time. Yet it's still challenging, but it seems easy now. It seems easy because you're doing the work. I remember when I was in staying in my small town, and I went to the gym. They had dumbbell weights. Dumbbell weights is just curls where you can just curl like that on one arm. On one arm, where you curl like that. And so they had from 5 pounds all the way up to 100 pounds. And when I started working out with my buddy that was going to the gym, I started working out with them. I was used to the 25s and 35s because I wasn't really pushing myself. I was just like, I was in the gym, but I wasn't in the gym. But I was in the gym at the same time. And so one day he was like, man, get them 55s, bro. Or get them 65s, bro. Get them 75s, bro. And at the time, I'm like, bro, I don't lift that. I'm not lifting that. That's too heavy. I'm right at my max. I'm here. That ain't my forte. That mother too heavy. I was like, man, I'm gonna spot you. I said, okay. So I grabbed him. I think I grabbed a 75 this time, 75 pound. And so I put up my leg, I lifted up, and then I pressed. We was working on our chest. Then I pressed. Then I was able to do it. I surprised myself. You see, I surprised myself because I wasn't expecting for me to do that. Yet the preparation helped me lift the 75 pounds. And it's one arm. Mind you, it's one arm. That's heavy. That's a lot of weight. Yet I was able to do it. And that came from preparation. That came from preparation. When you're preparing for your creativity gets discovered because you're able to do things that you don't expect that you can do. Why? Because it creates opportunity. Your creativity is working in a way where it's showing that you're doing your best. Even when your best don't seem like it's possible. It's showing that you're on the right path. It's demonstrating that you are on the right path because you're showing and proving to yourself that you can do it. Sometimes we just need people in our corner to say that we can do it as much as we believe we can do it. Why is it so difficult? Why is it so hard? See, it's hard because it shows us that it's possible. And when we start to see what's possible, we want to do it more often. We want to do it more often. Your creativity is showing that you can do it more often if you're willing to unlock your creativity. See, when you unlock your creativity, you have to know that the effort and practice and preparation that you're doing, you're preparing to be great, because as you're preparing to be great, you're building consistency. See, you can only be consistent when you recognize what you're being consistent towards. And when you develop within yourself, you recognize that it's going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging. And even though it's not, even though it's challenging, doesn't make it impossible. Doesn't make it impossible. Does not say that you cannot do it. I want to look up the word possible. I want to look up the definition of possible, because for us to understand what the word actually is, we got to understand what the meaning is. You dig what I'm saying? So the word possible is able to be done with the power or capacity of someone or something. It says able to be done within a power or capacity of someone or something. Why is it so important? Because your capacity is being hold on. Why is it someone or something? Because you are the one that's pushing your capacity. You are the someone that's pushing your something. You are the one that's actually identifying what you can do, but you're doing it just a little bit more. You're doing it just a little bit more better, and that you're improving. You're demonstrating that you're improving for yourself. See, it seems easy because others are looking on the outside looking in. Others are on the outside looking in of the work that you're doing. People don't see the work. People don't see the hard times. People don't see the lonely days. People only see what you show up to the table with, which is your preparation. So never think what you're doing for yourself is not helping you understand that you're preparing for something more, for something big, for something great. See, to develop personally, you have to know what you're developing towards. When I picked up the iPhone for the first time, I was developing to be great within myself because I was learning how to communicate. I was learning how to be confident. I was learning how to be sure of my voice. But it took time for me to get confident on what I was doing because I had to do it a lot more often. I had to do it more often because it was a new field that I wasn't comfortable with doing. Yet when I learned it, I can get comfortable with the process. You see, it seems easy because we're not the ones doing the work. When we become the ones that's doing the challenges and pushing ourselves, it become a little stressful. It become a little daunting. It become a little overwhelming. And when it becomes overwhelming, it doesn't become impossible because now it turns into possible. And when it goes and when it goes from impossible to possible, you have to keep unlocking your creativity in new ways that will help you discover new forms for yourself that will help you grow and develop more than you could ever imagine. When you're unlocking your creativity, you have to do it often. Not once every month, once every 4 months. No, you have to do it every day because you have to commit to your growth. You have to commit to your process and you have to commit to your journey. And if you got value from this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave a review button and leave a comment on your biggest takeaway on It Seems Easy. Leave your biggest takeaway. Or what is your biggest takeaway from this video? Leave in the comments. I would love to read it. I would love to engage with it and see if I'm really bringing value to you all. I appreciate you all, and make sure you share this with a friend that's struggling to identify that the work that you're doing the right work. You just gotta give yourself time to keep doing the work. So send this to a friend that you just thought about. Send this to them, share this video with them, and just say, hey, this video is for you because you are on the right path. And to see that you're on the right path, you have to know that someone understands what you're going through. Send this to them and leave and what is your biggest takeaway from this video, from this talk about identifying why it seemed easy when you're on the outside looking in. I appreciate y'all, and then I'll see y'all tomorrow.